All right, guys, going to jump straight into the recap for today. I ended up taking no trades today, but I'm going to go through how I formulated my daily bias. And then also at the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about trading psychology and how in the past like 6 months, I've really developed my skill in trading and how I went from making basically like my mindset when I was making no money from trading, my mindset now where I'm clearing 40,000 a month. So let's get right into it. Also, guys, as you can see here, the mic is in business. Okay, so let's jump right into it. I'm gonna lower this, and I'm just gonna stick myself in the bottom right corner. Perfect. So first thing I like to do is I go on the 5 minute and I mark out New York Open with this little right here at 9:30, and then I mark out 9:50. Bang, and I do the same on ES. And I like having both of these open at the same time so I can watch for SMTs. So on NQ, I wanted, if you go the high, I start out on the higher time frame. So I build my bias from the higher time frame and I work my way down. So if there's not like obvious targets on the high time frame, then like I work my way through the time frames until I find like a draw liquidity to the top, a draw liquidity to the lower, whatever just is kind of sticking out to me in the moment. So what I saw at market open today was we had this unfilled 4 hour. So I marked that out. And then we also have that on ES, and that is above these data highs. So that was looking really good to me. And then we also had this 4 hour gap on NQ and on ES as well. I like those as well. And what made them even better was, as you can see, like since like Asia Open, we've basically been just pushing up, ripping through. So I was like, okay, I really would like sweep out these highs, move higher, or come down, come up a little bit, and then go lower. But my big bias was going lower because once you go into like the 5 minute here, you can see right here is like low resistance liquidity right here, this whole area, and that's why price just ripped through. And you can look at ES and see that too. Like ever since here, price has kind of been just chopping its way on up. So this is just a bunch of low resistance liquidity all up in here. Okay, so market open. I'm on the 5 minute. I'm just watching what's happening. We come up, sweep, just some little 5 minute highs here, and then just start dumping. So I was the whole time basically. You go on the 1 minute. I don't like taking entries right off market open. I like waiting closer to this macro time, like this range of price here. Like after 940 is really when I'm like willing to enter trades because I've just gotten rent so many times where price like when I watch market open, a lot of time it's like this and then it manipulates and does something like that. And this is the 940 where I get that retrace to then get the optimal entry. So just with my strategy, like I like waiting until later into price. Okay. So on the 1 minute, we get this breakup structure, and then on the 5 minute, we also get a breakup structure, and we get inverse of this fair value gap here, which like I really like that, but it was within the first 5 minute of market open. Like market open came up and swept it, and I was like, okay, bet. And then here, once we swept these lows on NQ, we actually hadn't swept them on ES, right? We swept these lows on NQ, and ES wasn't there yet. We were still up here, and I was hoping for that to be like a micro little SMT to cause price to come up into this price range. And this is what I was hoping for. Okay, so here, if we go to the 5 minute, I wanted these lows were a good draw. And then after those lows, I liked London session lows here. And then I liked these lows inside of this 4 hour gap, kind of this little bit of liquidity here. So those would have been my three targets for today. And I was willing to take it to either one of them. Like even if this one got taken out first, if I got a good retrace, I was willing to go down to here. But as you can see with price, never got that retrace. We just kept dumping. I mean, we get this tiny little retrace, but I would want a 5-minute retrace before I was willing to, where am I? At least a 5-minute retrace into any of these. Like I was willing to even, once we pushed down here, like once we had this candle, we failed to sweep that low. I was willing to catch a trade here or even here. But price just never gave me a good enough 5-minute retrace. And at this point, at like 10:10, normally is when I just get off for the day. Like I'm not staying on until 12 to find my entry. That's just not how I trade. And a lot of times I notice price is a lot choppier, and then randomly it'll just like rip out of the range. But like here, like if I took a trade here, I would have been stopped out because I would have saw tapped here. And I'd have saw this, I would have waited for this candle probably. Stops would have had to been all the way up here. Like that is almost an 80-point stop. So I just stayed out of price. Like after we took all my draws, this one, and this one, I was like, price has the ability to now go higher. And I was going to take this trade here. Little retrace IFVG. I was going to take this and target, which like that high played out, but I was going to target this high here and put some tight stops. And but I would have lost. So glad I didn't do that. I ended up just, as soon as we got to this time and after we've already basically taken out all my liquidity for the day, all I did was close my accounts. I locked myself out and just not allowing myself to take losses. And I think that is like a huge part of day trading that people don't understand. It's like, being able to take yourself out of a trade and lock yourself out for the day is more important than like taking a win or loss sometimes. Like this keeps my money. I still have my funded accounts. They still have the ability to make me money. I could revenge trade. I could have took that trade, took a loss, got mad, took more trades, and like that's what's going to lead to tilting behavior. So like I think the biggest thing, like let's put a little text box here. Put it at like 38. Let me type this out for y'all. Type out some notes. Might be a good idea also take some notes off this too. So let me do this. Text box and make myself a little smaller here. I think that looks good. So let me mark this out for y'all. Psych. I have no idea how to spell. That looks good to me. All right, guys. Psych. Oh, goodness. All right, so part of my system, one trade a day is how I trade. I don't take any more. I take one trade, whether win or loss, I get off. And whether I win or lose, that's a dub. Because imagine, scenario one, you take one trade, lose. Like one trade, you're down 500, but then the next day you come back and you win, you're up 1,000. So overall, you're up 500, right? But let's say I'm not typing. I'm just gonna yap to y'all. I like yapping better. I'm gonna put myself back in the middle. So just write this down, okay? I'm not the greatest typer. Or scenario two, you take one trade, you take that loss, you still took a loss, you're down 500. But instead, you just continue trading, trying to win it back. Even if you end up green, which I have done this many of times. And you don't feel good after it, to be honest. And then also, you're just proving, like, you're ruining your statistic that shows that you're profitable. Like, the statistic that you back-tested and studied and learned and have, like, wrote your trades and, like, have it in your journal and studied over, like, a long period of time that you have built. Like, my strategy tells me I'm a 67% win rate. I average 1.5 to 2 RR, and I risk 300 to 400 per trade. So, like, I know a loss is part of my system. Like I should lose 4 out of every 10 trades I take. So with this mindset, if I take 2 trades in one day, I'm ruining that statistic. Like, yeah, if I win, okay, that's cool. But realistically, there's only one good trade a day. There are days where you can get multiple setups. But, I mean, if it's in your strategy, sure. If you take 2 trades a day, you get off. Good, you're following your strategy. But if you're not following your strategy, And I also believe, like, I feel like if everyone just took one trade a day, especially for like beginners and like people that are new to the markets, like you're just going to perform so much better. Stop worrying about what your P&L is at the end of the day and start worrying about how you did for the day. What trade did you take? Was it a solid setup? And then one thing also, like if I would have took just this 5 minute inverse off market open, and this was a big reason why I didn't take it. If I would have took this and like, yeah, like looking at it, yeah, that looks to this 4 hour gap. Yeah, it looks like a beautiful trade, right? But if I would have entered this and I would have got that retrace, but say we wanted these data highs, like I would have been mad to lose this. Like I was not willing to take this trade because if I lost this trade, I would have been mad if I lost it. Okay? And like that's another thing that goes into my psychology when I'm trading. It's like I need to feel 100% confident in my trade. Like I need to see price do what I want to do, right? Get a break, and I want this target down here, right? And I'm willing to risk, stops up here, target here, $500 to see if this plays out. Like you need to mentally, okay, I just realized I'm drawing on the screen and y'all can't even see, but that's fine. But you need to be willing, like every trade, you need to ask yourself before you enter the trade, will you be mad if you lose this? Like, will you be upset with yourself if you lose this? Like, you need to be so confident in the trade. Like, the trades I take now, and one of the biggest things that I believe is like caused me to like go from like barely making money, besides like obviously I have stacked accounts and that definitely helps. But like just getting more consistent payouts bi-weekly and weekly. Like now I'm getting weekly and bi-weekly payouts, which is absolutely insane to believe. And it's insane, guys. It's insane. But one thing I think helped the most with my trading is like, let me just demonstrate here on the charts. So let me get off this. Let me just scroll down here. Here we go. So in my trading before, like sometimes like I used to trade a break of structure. And so like I would see price and then like we break structure, right? But let's say there's like a fair value gap and I'm waiting for the inverse of it, right? To the upside is what I want. If price does something like this and then barely closes above it, to me, that is just not a high quality setup. But if you have a fair value gap in price and you're waiting for it to get inverse and you see a candle like this that just, let me move this, and you see a candle like that just rips through price, yes, my stops have been a little bit bigger. Also, market volatility has been higher. Like, yes, your stops are going to be a little bit bigger, but the win rate on these setups are so much higher for me. Like when I wait for this, I fade a lot of fake outs because sometimes price will like, there'll be a little fair and it will like barely close above it. And like people enter there, I understand it theoretically, statistically that fair value gap has then been invalidated, right? When it closes above it. But what you really want is when that thing closes above it. Like there needs to be motion in price. It does not need to take 7 minutes to close above it on the 1 minute time frame. Like a 1 minute fair value gap should get absolutely like pissed on. It should be no doubt like you should feel dumb not taking longs. Like that's how obvious it should be pointed out to you. And then especially when you got some sexy little draws up here, like bro, price is just gonna rip up there, So like with that being said, like those are like that's some of the biggest things I've done. I'm not gonna drop too much knowledge on y'all today. I'm not gonna pump out and just spill all the beans, but if y'all just start looking for more like motion towards your direction, like literally just more motion, like you should feel stupid for not entering. Like that's how obvious your trade should be, especially when you're a beginner. It should feel so easy, if that makes sense. Like you should be like, wow, market is definitely going down from here. Yeah, you're going to fake out and you're going to lose trades. And there's going to be a lot of learning lessons and a lot of failures. But through that, and through the failures I have taken, like I've noticed, like even on breaking structures, like, like I'm waiting for this high to get closed above. If we like barely close above it, no, right? Like, look right there, this model right here. So like if you got a high and, we're pushing back above it and that's the break of structure, like that ain't a good break of structure. But if you got this and then you're like, okay, I want to break a structure and it's like, boom, you know what I'm saying? You need monster candles, okay? This will just like price is trying to tell you where it's going. Okay. Yeah. Is your RR going to go down a little bit? Of course, you're going to catch like 1.5 to 2, but that is still massive. I've been catching 100-point trades with this specific strategy with 50 to 60-point stops. Like, it is absolutely ripping. You just lower your risk a little bit. That's it. It's not like you're making any less money or adding more risk. You're just increasing your win rate, which is increasing the money that's going into your bank account. But this will only happen if you're willing to get off after you lose. If you're willing to get off after you win. If you're willing to get off with no trades. You have to be disciplined and you have to trust your system. If you can't trust your system, you're never going to make money. All right, guys, I'm going to end that video right there. I'm going to continue dropping these daily recaps every single day after I trade. Whether I take a trade, don't take a trade, whether I take a loss. I'm going to go over what I learned, everything. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. I'm going to continue dropping them on the weekends. I'll probably, and maybe also on like Wednesdays, maybe like Wednesdays and weekends. So I split it up. I'm going to drop like psychology / like trading video, like trading knowledge. And I might also just, I mean, obviously all my trade recaps are going to have some sauce in there. But the biggest thing I've done over the past 6 months is like focus on my draw and liquidity, wait for motion, whether break a structure, IFVG, or confirmation needs to be good. And it needs to feel stupidly obvious that it's going to play out. And if I have all 4 of those things, I'm willing to lose. I'm willing to lose $500. I'm willing to lose $1,000. I'm willing to lose whatever I'm willing to put on the table. And that's how you should be as well. Especially in the early stages, you should be picky. You shouldn't just take every single trade. Losses are good. Learn from them. That's what makes losses good. Wins are good too. You can still learn from wins. So stay disciplined. Try to do just 1 trade a day. This video I've dragged on a little bit, but I'm just trying to give y'all and dump my brain on here. This is YouTube, so I'm going to take a little longer. Hopefully the mic sounds a lot better, and I'm going to continue pumping out these videos, and I thank y'all for your support, and y'all have a great day.